Greetings, dear viewers. Welcome. Today's poem is Magnus, Fabi, and 2018. This is a poem about the 2018 World Chess Championship match that took place between Magnus Carlsen and Fabiano Caruana. Magnus Carlsen was already the world champion at this point, and Fabiano Caruana was the challenger to the throne. There are a lot of interesting things about this match, and one of the primary things is that this is the first time in the history of World Championship that all the 12 games were drawn. Unlike other World Championship rules in different times, in this particular year, which was 2018, the champion did not retain the crown in case of a draw in the scores. There was a tiebreaker, and the match would be resulted through the tiebreaker. So this was interesting in itself, that there was a rule that was fair to the challenger as well, and of course this was not the rule a long time ago. For example, the 1910 match between Schlechter and Lasker, the match was drawn and Lasker retained the crown. So in all fairness, the two great players, world number 1 Magnus Carlsen and world number 2 Fabiano Caruana, contested, and there were other interesting aspects about this particular match. The second interesting thing is that about the prize fund. The prize fund was £1 million, and this was a very clear indication that chess was gradually progressing, and there were a lot of sponsors, and it was actually gaining some attention. There were people who were interested and they were following the games, considering that there were a lot of players who were actually doing the live commentary. A lot of chess YouTube channels also covered the match, which gave them a great coverage. And the other interesting thing in terms of a side note is that there was an alternative logo for this World Championship match, and this was considered as something very distinct and unique. The picture was in such a way that there were two people with the legs overlapped, hand overlapped. Between that there was a chessboard. So a lot of them thought that this is a little provocative, or there was a different angle to the sport, and the head of World Chess told that there is nothing wrong in bringing some sexual appeal to the sport, which in itself was a very unique concept. Right or wrong, that is not the point, but it was nevertheless an interesting approach. There are other things with respect to the era that we do live in the sense era of the machines. The first thing that is about a particular game, it was in game 6 where Fabiano Caruana missed a win, and it was some mate in 32 which the engine spotted, and we can see that now people have access to the engines, and it is very easy for the journalists to post questions, and this particular question was also posed to Fabiano, that you missed the win. So in a way, it is also giving an indication that chess is also becoming a spectator sport due to the fact that there are tools available for the viewers. On the other hand, the move was so difficult to find that Gary Kasparov famously tweeted saying that if Fabiano Caruana had found that particular move, it's a move wherein the knight goes to g1 and it traps itself, self-trapping the knight, wherein it can't come out. The bishop of Magnus Carlsen is covering all the possible squares wherein the knight can come out. Kasparov said that if he had found that move, then there should be metal detectors, and one needs to see whether Fabiano is having some kind of an engine embedded in a system. So that in the sense, chess was becoming a spectator sport. The other interesting aspect, other interesting thing that happened with respect to this World Championship match, which has not happened anytime, is there was some video of Fabiano Caruana preparing for a particular opening, and that video was leaked. And again, it may have some relevance, it may not, but still, nevertheless, it created some kind of interest amongst the public that, okay, Fabiano Caruana's team member might have leaked it, anything, but whatever it is, the leaked video did garner some attention, and this was something very unique. And lastly, in terms of the approach of Magnus Carlsen, I would like to tell this, and let us get started with the poem. On the 12th game, till the 12th game, the scores were level. Of course, all the games were drawn, as I told. And 12th game, Carlsen pushed for a very easy draw, and he could have fought on. He could have tried for a win, but Carlsen did not, because he knew that in the tiebreaker he would do well, and he was criticized for this particular approach by great players, including the great Kasparov. And nevertheless, Carlsen took it in right spirit, and he gave an answer in the tiebreak, and he won the tiebreaker 3-0, and was the world chess champion again in 2018. So this poem is not majorly about the facts, but about all these things which are quite unique, which adds some interest to the championship in itself. So let us get started with the poem. The alternate logo of the World Chess Championship was extremely hard to skip. Unique appeal to chess was the intent, why the players were ready with the chess content. €1 million purse for the event proved that chess had indeed moved towards being a popular sport with the right support. Game 6 had a drama of its own. Caruana had missed a win, much to human chagrin. It was insane line suggested by the machine, which for a human eye must go unseen. The leaked video of Fabi's preparation, which received attention, was unusual and something that may never be seen. Credits to the era of machines. Game 12 was discussed in detail. Magnus deciding to draw the game was criticized for the approach by one of his famous coach. The champion answered in the rapid tiebreak when the glory was at stake. Mighty Magnus retained the crown and was again the talk in the chess town. I hope you like the poem. Of course, as usual, the full poem is in the description, and I spoke about the move knight g1. A detailed analysis has been done by Daniel King, and you can check out that particular video, which I have included in the description, for you to understand how difficult it was to find that particular move by Fabiano. Once again, thanks for your time.